Hello. How are we all doing? Here we are. It's late. Oh dear, it is late as well. So, I am once again coming to you from the Minecraft thing. I am decided to show you what I've been doing. So, as you may or may not know, if you've seen any of the videos from what I've now collected together as the Pyramid Saga. I know. Don't hate me. My pyramid complex that I had spent I don't know how many months building got wiped, completely wiped. It was during some bizarre weather. I had a power cut, and my whole world, Minecraft, this world got not this world. This is a new world, but it just got zapped, and I just didn't have any other copy or anything like that of the world that was new enough to be salvageable. So I did actually download what I could, but it didn't have any of that pyramid on it, so it was just too old. So I went out for a walk to kind of think about what to do, and in the meantime my daughter Talia started a new world and started a new pyramid, and because she felt bad and she wanted everyone to work on it, and what has actually happened is that hasn't happened, but I discovered the one that she started, and this is it. So I've been kind of trying to have a little getting into it, so I just thought I'd do a quick live stream just to show you what's occurring so far. As you can probably determine, it's nowhere near finished. Obviously, this is part one, and we have a long way to go. But Talia decided to, because I'd had all these problems with light, Talia decided to start the pyramid with and make it out of sea lanterns completely, which I think was a great idea. It's going to be a really strange looking thing when it's finished. So inside there's very little going on thus far. We have a single kind of just a quick bit of cross beams, and just a quick bit of stuff on the floor, and essentially the beginnings of another one. So you can see it's really very rudimentary at the moment. We haven't done anything. I thought what I would do when I took over the build from Tali, I thought I would just concentrate on getting the earth moving out of the way first, because obviously I didn't do that with the original pyramid, because I built it first and then decided to make it go all the way down to ground zero. But so this time I've kind of started with that in mind, and so let's take a look. So we've got, I don't know how many layers done yet. Some, it looks like a lot, but it really isn't when you see the full size of the pyramid. It's the same, it's going to be the same overall dimensions as the other one. It tops out at the 256 or whatever it is, and then works one block down each time. So in the middle here we've started just excavating this. I'm trying to do it very, very neatly. I really just don't want all the bullshit that happened before with all the kind of, when you expose these surfaces, these rocks, and you get all the kind of lava and water crap, that inevitably happens when you just zap the stuff out of existence, to air, and it just creates a lot more work in some ways. So what I've decided to do is I developed a sort of new methodology to doing it, which is to fill the space that I'm working in with quartz. So this material here, quartz block 3, fill the space with the quartz, and then alter the coordinates so you're kind of one step in, so it will leave a wall, and then work your way back down again, doing the fill commands with air. So you end up with a sort of shored up, aligned area, rather than it being just bare like this. Obviously this section is, because it's very high. But the other issue that Talia sort of inadvertently created by placing this pyramid here, bless her heart, right? What she was thinking was that she didn't want me to be troubled by the whole snow thing. So she found a nice island that sort of was sunny and nice, which is great. But where the top of the pyramid was, where she started it, the position that she placed it in, essentially, and she had no way of really knowing this, because until you mark out your perimeter, you don't know. I knew instantly looking at it, because I'd obviously been there before with the other pyramid. But once you mark out where the extent of the pyramid is going to go, so what I would do is, she built maybe a little bit of this top portion here on the central spine here, and then I came along and started just building these down, and just to see where we go, right, where it all comes to, and how far it actually goes. Now, as you can see with this corner, we're almost clearing the island completely, and I've begun the sort of excavation of this corner with a liner. It's all, the sea level is sort of is level 62 elevation, so everything's kind of 62 around here. I don't know what I'm going to do eventually with this, but I thought, again, with the problem with the original pyramid was that there was very little space around it, just because of the way I did it. I made the thing first at ground level all the way, and then I had to start digging around, and it just made life very difficult, because you had a lot of stuff in the way, whereas this is a sort of clean sheet of paper, and you can literally just start moving tons and tons of material and forming your space. Now this is obviously, down here is elevation 1, and then the pyramid actually does extend into level 0, just to make sure that no one says the thing isn't as big as it can be. It is, because that's void there, so it cannot be any bigger. Not at one step like this. I mean, obviously you could change the design and make it cover a greater area, but whatever. Anyway, so this is about as untidy as it gets, actually, because for some reason this part I excavated without doing a liner. But the other thing that I noticed immediately was that pretty much, I think on 2 or at least 2 or 3 sides, the pyramid is just gonna completely be in water. So I'm having to constantly deal with having to excavate water rather than land. All this stuff was, all this work was mostly water, and that sort of presents a slightly different problem to solve, because if you just use in fact, that's kind of why I developed this quartz liner technique to do it, because if you don't do that, you just end up with all this kind of crazy water plumes everywhere, and it's just a total ball ache to try and get rid of them. So it's just a lot easier, even though you have to do 2 passes. You have to do a pass to fill the space that you're working on with quartz or whatever you're using. I'm using quartz, and then do a reverse of that pass all the way down to ground 0, or actually ground 1, elevation 1, because you want to leave this as floor. So it's 2 passes, but you do end up, if you do your sums right and make sure you don't kind of screw up your coordinates and accidentally erase your walls. I've done that. Trust me, I've done it so many times. I've kind of got the hang of it now in terms of making sure that I do my sums correctly and keep everything contained. And then I've just started doing a bit of block work in the corners just to kind of start having the pyramid take a little bit of shape. But like I said, it's mostly water work. If we head on down to this corner, and I think by the time just this sort of basic perimeter is done, most of the island will be gone. It's just not gonna. There's just not gonna be anything there. So this is the side that I think today. See, there's this portion there that I, for some reason, did the sums incorrectly and didn't get the liner right. But anyway, so this edge here is the first point at which just today we've broken together, joined 2 corners together, and we have a full run down one side now. As you can see, you've got this huge amount of water still to remove here, but we've got a connection to the middle here. So this is the center point of the pyramid over here. We're still going to have this. I think we're going to have some kind of shadow problem. You can see that this shadow here is the pyramid itself up there. But once we get, I think here, it's going to be interesting to see how it goes actually, because obviously the whole thing's going to be made of sea lanterns. But at this point in the center of the pyramid, there's not really going to be much ambient light from the walls of the pyramid because they'll be too far away. So this will probably still be very dark. Anyway, this is the center point, and so I've sort of finally made a connection from here to the edge, and this run is now connected just today to this side as well. And there's quite a lot of block work that I could do even with the space as it is at the moment, but I'm sort of focusing more on just kind of getting rid of the the water, and just getting all that excavated, because that was such a terribly lengthy process on the original pyramid, and made much more difficult by the where the pyramid was and how I constructed it. So I kind of feel like I've learnt a lesson from that, and I'm going about things in a more sort of business-like, purposeful manner on this. But there we are. That's where it's going to be, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do. What I might actually do, I think it might be fun to absolutely, balk the whole island. I learnt that word today, by the way, from my friend, my old mate Nathan, who's put a Facebook post up about his weekend being balked. Which I thought was a great word. So I might actually just get rid of everything, and just have this this crazy sea lantern pyramid sort of rising from the sea, which might be quite fun. And then I might build some stuff, sort of satellites out from that or something. I don't know yet, but so I'm still struggling with the loss of the other thing. But I'm kind of, as you can see, I've moved on, and I'm very happy to be having a little go on this, and I'm so happy that Tali decided to do it. I might not have done this, I have to say. I was thinking more along the lines of, in fact, if you watch the very last video in the Pyramid Saga playlist, I was in the sort of the version of my Minecraft world that I'd managed to salvage that didn't have the pyramid in it, but it had everything else that I'd built up until that point. And it had more specifically, it had that giant build that I abandoned because I couldn't top it out, because I'd started it at the bottom rather than at the top. And I was thinking at the time when I was doing that live stream that I would perhaps work on that, because it would be quite an impressive build. But I didn't know that Tali had already this for me, and I'd much rather work on this, to be honest. Move forward. And I think, yeah, it's going to look pretty crazy when it's built. And yeah, I'll start building all those functioning doors and things. But what I think I'll do is I won't do anything like that until I've got the whole thing built as a shell. I'll have all the block work, all the excavation, just everything done, and then it's a blank canvas for whatever kind of internal designs and stuff I want to do. This one little room up here, or this one little floor, was just to see what it looked like when you start building some stuff in this sea lantern environment. It's kind of weird, but I like it. I mean, I probably wouldn't have done it myself like this, but like I said, it was the decision was made for me, and it's cool. I think it's great. I mean, this was always the problem with the other pyramid. I built it in polished blackstone, so it was always very dark, and I made the floor completely of sea lanterns eventually, just to kind of try and give it some light. Now this is, for anyone who doesn't know about the topping out situation, this is how you can tell we're topped out, because for some reason Minecraft, the illumination on this side of the sea lanterns doesn't happen at this level. It's very weird. Yeah, you put another one in there, it's weird. Now I know that there is a way of completely exceeding the 256 limit and building vast, sort of almost infinite structures. I've seen a video where a guy demonstrated how to do that, but I found it quite complicated how he was doing it, and I was like, oh, okay, I'm not really sure about that. I'm not really sure I want to kind of go down that road yet. I'm happy to work within the sort of established parameters, limitations of the game for the moment. But I do want this to be, something cool. I just think it'd be looking good, and yeah. So that's all I wanted to do. Really, there's not much more to show. It really is a work in progress, and it pretty much at the beginning. It's already been at least a week, I think, since we started this. It's a lot, and a lot of work has happened on it already, as you can see. Because again, with the excavation, if they had a again, there is a way of breaking that 32,000 block limit that they put on single fill commands, and it was using command blocks. And now I have been using command blocks in those doors and moving entrances that I was making on the other pyramid. So I could look into that again. It would be great to be able to just really zap vast amounts of land, well, in this case water, quickly. But with the 32 block limit, 32,000 block limit, you're looking at basically from this height, from sort of 62, 63, 62, 62, you know, all the way down to the bottom, all the way down to 0. You know, you could probably do an area sort of, I don't know, maybe this size. You could do maybe something that big, this chunk here, in one hit, all the way down. I've done a few like that. In fact, maybe not even. That might even be too big, but possibly. This run here, the last command that I did actually ran from this point, I think, all the way to where you can see the sea lanterns stopping there. There was a wall there. I did all that in a single fill command, but I had to do it 3 layers at a time. It was the maximum amount was 3 layers that it could remove. That would be, and it literally worked out to pretty much exactly 32,200 or something like that, which is obviously just under the limit, very, very close to the limit, which is, you know, handy really, because 4 was too much and 2 would be you know, way under in terms of layers. But I haven't quite decided which way of doing things is less of a ball ache, you know what I mean? So you could, like, yeah, you could kind of stick your coordinates in and zap this chunk here, but then you've got to do it again here, and then here, and then here, and then here, and it sort of seems to be a lot, you know. Whereas you could do, you know, something like something this sort of size. Yeah, something that kind of size. You could do, you know, pretty swiftly. Maybe 15 levels at a time, 20 levels at a time, and bosh, bosh, bosh. You know, maybe even a bigger section than that. But I don't know. It's all good. As long as you get your sums right, it doesn't really matter. The block work is tedious, obviously. That's why I haven't filled that bit in yet. It's like, oh, just tedious. Now that this is connected, those block runs are kind of huge again. But anyway, so I just thought I would do a quick stream and as a sort of record of what's occurring. I'm very happy with the with this build. I'm still done in that I lost my lovely pyramid that I had built before, but there you go. It is such as you know, got to be philosophical about these things. It's not, you know, I didn't lose anything valuable, you know, not really. Blue. So here we are. So there we are, and there we are. Enjoy, everyone. Have a lovely evening, if you like this video, blah de blah de blah. And I shall do more updates as we go along, as there's something cool to show you. I might wait until I've got some substantial progress made, rather than kind of hit you up with, look, I've done this bit of wall. Yep, enjoy. See you later.